Sense maker.
Chief Christopher GEOMAN'S at the mic, breaking down the noise, bringing clarity quick. Common sense solutions straight to the point. Listen up, let's get it right. Sense maker, cutting through the haze. Chief Christopher GEOMAN'S bringing wisdom to the ways. Practical advice, no nonsense guide. Common sense podcast side by side. Life's complex issues simplified with ease. Chief's insights, you'll breeze through the T's. Real talk, no fluff, just the facts. Get ready, let's tackle the facts. Sense maker, cutting through the haze. Chief Christopher GEOMAN'S bringing wisdom to the ways. Practical advice, no nonsense.
It's time for Chief Christopher GEOMAN'S podcast of Common Sense.
Attacking the bandits will be a mistake. Negotiate with them instead. The causes of all this chaos is because they are not included in the budget. So USA attacking them will cause more chaos in the country. Right? The best solution is negotiation with them, and they should be included in the budget. And we use only negotiation can solve these issues. Give them whatever they want for peace to reign.
As brandishing the amount of monies that they received as monies that, as ransom, they're everywhere on social media. The intelligence agencies are unable to track and trace those guys, but they're easily able to pick up an average Nigerian who's frustrated and angry at what the Nigerian government is doing.
Let me give you one scenario. There is a regulatory body in Nigeria that has the database of Nigerian people and their phone numbers, right? There is also a body that deals with internet service provision, where if you are using an internet service that is covered within the sphere of Nigeria, we can trace through the IP address where you are, isn't it? If you are using Starlink, we cannot trace it because Starlink is not registered in Nigeria, it's in the space. That's the problem they have in Ukraine and Russia. These terrorists, they are most of the times, they are using cellular service and internet from the neighboring countries, not Nigeria. So it becomes tricky.
How convenient.
That they are using
How
it?
convenient, Mr. Boala.
That they are using
that
it?
they're using Starlink. When did Starlink come into Nigeria?
Starlink?
Did he come after the Tinubu administration or before?
Well, I know Starlink. I've been using Starlink before President Tinubu was before he was sworn in as a president.
Sense maker.
Chief,
Welcome, people all over the world. Welcome to all global citizens. Welcome to the Chief Christopher GEOMAN'S podcast of Common Sense. And with me here in the studio is a very wonderful man that I'm going to introduce later. But what I just want to tell us now that the Chief Christopher GEOMAN'S podcast of Common Sense comes to you all the way from the United Kingdom under the Royal TV stable. And then we look at everything from the point of common sense. They said common sense is something that is not too common in the world now. So wherever you are, please, if you're watching this, do us well. Please like, subscribe, and keep sharing, because the truth is, they said that a sealed mouth is a sealed destiny. With me here in the studio to discuss very troubling issues, in the society now, especially the pampering of bandits and politicizing of insecurity. And also, like we say, the controversial list of the ministerial, the ambassadorial list that just came out. There's a little bit controversy because some people are looking at some people there and saying that these people are actually not supposed to be diplomats. In fact, in some quarters, they say some of those people actually are supposed to be behind cell, but that is what they say. I'm not the judge. But with me to discuss this issue is a wonderful man. He's a writer, he's an author, he's a publisher, he's a lecturer, and also an activist. We're talking about somebody that serves as the Secretary General of the Forum of Southeast Academic Doctors in the Ishakuko. That is those that their head is getting very hot when it comes to book, For SAD. He's a PhD in educational psychology from the University of Lagos, married to the love of his life, Chief Mrs. Brenda Ngoladi, and also 4 lovely daughters. I'm just talking because of the in-laws. You guys should start coming very soon. You know what I'm saying? With me, please, is somebody that my hands, like I always say, are too little to tie the lace of his shoes. Dr. Uzor Ngoladi. Doctor, you're welcome to the Chief Christopher German podcast of Common Sense.
Chief, I greet you specially. That my surname is Ngoladi.
Ngoladi, aha.
Ngoladi, something like Ngoladi, where it used to be.
Where it used to be. Where are you from? Which part of the east are you from?
I'm from Ihiala in
Ihiala.
Anambra State.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Maybe I was
so
using
most times we always replace N with L.
yes.
So that's why you have Ngoladi.
Okay, I'm from Imo State. I won't be say precisely. So maybe I'm using my Imo State tongue to pronounce.
No, I understand Imo State tongue too because I grew up in Owerri.
Oh wow.
I grew up, had my primary, secondary, university education, everything, where I'm more of a
Oh wow. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you.
Please, for the sake of our teaming viewers all over the world, especially those in diaspora, can we please just take 2 minutes to tell the world who you are and a little bit about yourself?
Okay, you've already introduced me. There's nothing much. That's me here. My name is Uzor Ngoladi. I first of all went to Albanico College of Education, where my late father was a lecturer. I studied English and literature at NCE level. Then from there, I moved to Imo State University, where I had my first degree in English and education. Then I proceeded to University of Port Harcourt, where I had a master's in educational psychology. From University of Port Harcourt, I attended Pan Atlantic University, where I had a diploma certificate in entrepreneurial management. Then, the last but not the least, I enrolled in Unilag. That was in 2013 for a PhD in educational psychology. And I graduated in 2018. For my work history, I've worked as a journalist with Nigerian Television Authority. In fact, I did my national youth service there, where I won an award and I got recommendation to settle down and work with NTA. But my late father then, because I served in Gombe, because of this insecurity that we are going to discuss, he asked me to pack my bags and leave Gombe the next day. Immediately we finished our passing out parade. So I had to obey him. In spite of that, they now gave me a letter again that I should move to NTA in Lagos. I should present the letter to them to see whether they can retain me, because I did very well as a reporter. I was reporting all through the week. On Sundays, I cover churches. On Fridays, I cover mosques. So I was actually going into the mosques, I covered government house. I covered all manner of bits. I covered the markets. In fact, there was a time they nearly mobbed me at Gombe Market. Again, they nearly mobbed me again at Gombe Motor Park because I was reporting about fuel scarcity. I'm telling you, this thing happened. My service year was 2023, 2003, 2003, and 2004. I passed out 2004. So I reported something about transportation hike because of the fuel scarcity. So when I came back again to the motor park to know whether the prices have gone down, the motor park people there attacked me. So they had to bundle me and immediately take me out from there. So my parents had all this. So that was why immediately I finished, they asked me to leave. So when I finished youth service, I was doing my master's in University of Port Harcourt before I now got another job with Hints magazine. I don't know whether you know about Hints magazine.
Hints, yes. Wow,
yes,
the love magazine, eh?
Magazine.
The romance magazine.
They call them romance journal.
Exactly.
So I saw their adverts. I just applied, but I forgot all about it and continued my master's. One day I just got a call from them that they have sent me email a long time that I should know that those days we are not used to.
You have to go to the business
Yes.
email is
The
not
phone we are
like now.
using was
Yeah.
those,
You could go
phones.
far. I used to
So
remember
I
going
quickly
very
went
far,
to
taking the bus
business
to go and
yes.
check my email in town.
Yes, we go to business center. You go to business center, you pay and buy
You pay.
ticket. And
Buy
I check
ticket,
the
1
email.
hour,
So I checked
one
and saw
hour.
that they had invited me a long time ago. So immediately I went there. They asked for. We were plenty that they were many people that they invited. So they asked us. They just one of the staff came in and asked who are the writers. All of us got up. He said, "How many of you here have what you have written before?" Nobody came with anything, but I came with my manuscripts, a novel I have written while I was at Alban. I carried it in an envelope. So I said, I have my own. He said, okay, I should enter. I entered, I gave the panel their stuff. They just went through the volume of manuscript. Then you write, you send it to the typist will type it out. So I was carrying it like that. So I got the job on the spot.
Wow.
As an editorial executive.
That's wonderful. So, like I said, my hands are too small to tie the lace of this man. We shall dive deep into the main topic of the day right after this commercial timeout.
Sense maker.
On the left, and we all swore before men and God to defend that constitution, and the most potent part of that constitution states that the security and the welfare of the people shall be the primary purpose of government. Today, Mr. President, there is no security, not to talk of welfare. And you need to be alive to even enjoy welfare. I think we should take these things beyond the rhetorics of presentation on daily basis. We are behaving as if we have kerosene flowing through our veins and not blood. Most elites in this country, from the president to the least appointed, are protected by police and mobile police and even the army. Who is to protect the common man on the streets? Who is to protect the palm wine tapper in Humuleri? Who is to protect the Baduku in Marafa? Who is to protect the poor farmer in Ogbomoso? Mr. President, we should outgrow rhetorics and sensational presentations and call a spade a spade. The President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria must show capacity as the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces. And if we need international support, we should say so on time. If we need international collaboration, we should do so on time. And we should not just be concentrating on creating funds for the army and the other security forces without looking at the police. Intelligence gathering in this country is dead. Events will happen, there will be signals that they will happen, and they will happen, and there will be no remedy. Mr. President, before the masses begin to chase us, before they begin to destroy our vehicles and our homes, I think it is time we act and make hay while the sun shines.
Royalty. So remember, stick locked on Royal TV on YouTube or your social media player and get informed about when and where it's happening. One.
Royal TV.
Yeah.
Royal TV.
Royal TV.
Royal TV.
Royal TV.
Yeah.
Royal TV.
Royal TV, stating the facts from another perspective.
Sense maker.
So welcome back from that commercial timeout. And like I said, with me here is still the wonderful Dr. Uzor Ngoladi. And he just gave us a little brief about himself. And that really set the tone for today's topic. Let me start from the first one. We will not, we can never speak about insecurity in Nigeria. And that is because it is our dear country. If everything we have to be speaking from now till next year is going to be about insecurity, and that is because that is something that concerns us. One of the hallmark of democracy is that whoever is in charge secures the lives and property of every citizen. Without securing the life of and property of every citizen, there can't be any country. So tell me, sir, what's your take about this sudden pampering of bandits and politicizing it? If you see, there have been this like Sheikh Abubakar Gumi. I call him the controversial sheikh because I've never seen where somebody is very particular about giving reprieve to the perpetrators of crime and not actually the victims, rewarding those who are going around killing people and not actually making anything for the victims, making a case for the victims. He has never spoken for the victims. So what do you say about this pampering of bandits, as a case study for fighting insecurity in Nigeria?
Thank you very much. That is the situation we find ourselves in Nigeria. Like when you were asking the question, the key word I noticed there is politicization. Politics.
Exactly.
And politicians. Politicians have done an irredeemable, let me put it like that, damage.
Damage.
To this country. These politicians, this crop of politicians, if we, the young people, do not step up and do something, power is not given, power is taken. I just want to give you the background. Power is taken.
Yes.
I'm always encouraging and imploring the young people of Nigeria to come out on the political scene and take over power via the ballots, not bullets. Because what you just mentioned now about Sheikh Gumi is just nothing but politics.
Yes.
You want to play politics with the lives of people? You want to reward bandits.
The guy even is saying that they should put them in the budget. That the problem is that they are not put in the budget of Nigeria. That we should put them in the budget. We should put budget. We should budget for bandits.
You can imagine. You can
It's
imagine the level of decay that we have in that part of the country. They are the ones that has just even, they have made it a point of duty that Nigerians will not sleep with two eyes closed. But instead of him to come out and condemn, because these bandits live amongst them, they are in their community.
The present governor of Zamfara once said yes. The governor of Zamfara said that they know them. Yes, he said they know them.
Yes, they know them. These are terrorists. So the northern elites, the northern politicians, let's even leave other parts of the country. All the politicians are the same. I hope you know.
They are the same, of course. They are the same.
Politicians,
they are the same.
They wine and dine and they enjoy themselves.
Exactly. Exactly.
I've been privileged to be close with politicians. I told you that I served in Gombe. As far back as 2003, terrorism have started there. They like intimidation. They like using force, killing people. I witnessed a lot of it in Gombe. As at that time, you can imagine why my father asked me to start coming back.
22 years ago.
1 year there. So that is to tell you that some people are benefiting from this banditry and terrorism. And they are funding it. During elections, politicians unleash these hoodlums. They unleash them to the streets. I was opportune to cover an election in Gombe State, and I wept. I'll tell you a story. After covering that election, it was local government election.
Yes.
Then Danjuma Goje was the governor. Danjuma Goje is in the Senate now. He was the governor. I covered the election. Every polling booth we went to was chaotic. They just come there, hijack the boys. They will just come with a bus, hijack the place, and wherever you don't allow them to hijack the ballot box, they
They
start pulling
attack.
everybody there. So we came with NTA vehicle. I covered this thing in about 5 places. Now going back to the office, that was on a Saturday because I work 7 days a week. Going back to the office, I wrote my reports that will be read in their 7 o'clock NTA news. By the time I got home and I was listening to the report, it wasn't what I wrote. They have changed it.
They've changed it.
Yes. The next day when I came to work, I was very angry. And they are telling me, do you want to embarrass the governor? Do you want to embarrass the government? So these people enable crime. They are all enablers in the country. I saw it firsthand in the north, and I know that it's the same thing that is terrorism in all the 6 geopolitical zones of Nigeria. Is enabled by politicians.
By politicians, and that is true. This reminds me of this kit maker, Dr. Governor Munike.
Yes.
It is exactly.
He's always portraying that.
He's always portraying, that,
yes,
whatever.
That. So,
yes.
So what I'm telling you is that you see this crop of politicians, insecurity will not end. We know how insecurity started now. When we had the military regime, insecurity was not like this.
It was not like this.
Insecurity was not like this. And you know why it's worse now? Unemployment.
Yeah.
The rate of unemployment in Nigeria today is very high. As a matter of fact, people graduate from the university, go to youth service and come out, and there are no jobs for them.
But
so you can imagine what joblessness does to their psychological and mental basis.
Yes.
How would you protect that you have spent about 5-6 years of your life to come out and there's no job?
And there's no job.
The children are not here.
Yeah.
So we can't blame Sheikh Kumi. I'll blame it on all the politicians because he is part of them. He is working for them. He is thinking their minds.
Having heard that, sir, because you spoke about joblessness, and that's true. But come to think of it, I was discussing with somebody, and I told him that, look, let's face the fact: the government's job is not actually even to provide job. The work of the government is to provide the enabling environment. Because I believe that everybody is smart. You go to university. University is supposed to make you create job. Yes, I'm not saying that there are no jobs at the government, but the jobs that the government actually will produce most of them are just office jobs and so on. But when you have an enabling environment and investors come in, the jobs will flow. In other words, there is no investor that will invest a dime in a place with high insecurity risk. Once your country is put on code red, it makes no matter how much your diplomats go to speak outside, it will be hard for an investor. Can you, sir, now, as an investor, take your money and go to Afghanistan that you want to go and invest? It's the same thing. The way Nigeria, every time if you come on news, Nigeria has been discussed, especially since Nigeria has been designated as a country of particular concern. When you say a country of particular concern, it only means that if you're coming to do business in Nigeria, you have to be careful. You and I know how wonderful our country is. You know how resourceful Nigerians are. You know how hardworking Nigerians are. We work hard, even with a smile, even with all these things that are going on, we still work with a smile. Sometimes you just wonder, some of these politicians that are there, how did they get there? Coming to talk about this, like the new Minister of Defense that have just been sworn in, Brigadier General Christopher Musa. Yeah, this is somebody that is a career soldier. These are the kind of people that should handle the Ministry of Defense. You will have somebody who has never been to combat, who doesn't know anything, who has not even belonged to any Boy Scout. Therefore, political reasons you are put there. Even the Minister of State, Matawale, we all know when he was former governor of Zamfara State, insecurity in his state. Somebody that couldn't control insecurity in his own state. How can that person now defend the whole nation? We have him on tape where he was saying that not all bandits are criminals. You know? So when you have this kind of people handling this kind of thing, and what do you expect? We should have square pegs. We all, those of us that live outside the country, you know that they don't put square pegs in round holes. You must be qualified for anything. Even if you're going to work in a company, the guys that pick debt, you must be trained. You must be trained for whatever job role you want to play. So talking about that, let's dive into the one they call the controversial ambassadorial list. But we'll dive into that immediately after this commercial timeout.
Sense maker.
Chief Christopher GEOMAN'S at the mic, breaking down the noise, bringing clarity quick. Common sense solutions straight to the point. Listen up, let's get it right. Sense maker, cutting through the haze. Chief Christopher GEOMAN'S bringing wisdom to the ways. Practical advice, no nonsense guide. Common sense podcast side by side. Life's complex issues simplified with ease. Chief's insights, you'll breeze through the teas. Real talk, no fluff, just the facts. Get ready, let's tackle the facts. Sense maker.
My message to President Donald Trump is please don't relent. Come quickly before they finish us. If you delay, you will not hear my voice anymore. Because these people, they are finished with my Facebook account. They block it the way they did to you. Come quickly. You are not going to save us alone as Christians. My fellow brothers, Muslims, I pray, save Nigeria.
Sense maker.
Chief Christopher GEOMAN'S at the mic.
Welcome back from that commercial timeout. And before we went on that commercial timeout, we were talking about insecurity in Nigeria, and we dovetailed into the what is termed the controversial ambassadorial list. Now, Nigerians were awakened suddenly to the announcement by President Donald Trump that Nigeria is a country of particular concern. And since then, things have been working like everybody has been on his feet. In fact, when General Christopher was being sworn in, there was a word that the Senate president used. He said that even Donald Trump is on their neck. In other words, it has taken Donald Trump to awaken everybody to his slumber. And Nigeria has been without diplomats for over 2 years. And a list was suddenly sent. It's not the list that is the problem. It is some members of that list. Because these people are actually going to sit somewhere and claim to represent Nigeria. The likes of Reno or Mokiri, who Nigerians in their millions have reason to say this man is not qualified to represent us, not just because of his diarrhea mouth, but because of the way he changes like a chameleon. He seemed like somebody that, if given the right incentive, because it's on record that this guy was calling the president on printable names over here in the UK when during the campaigns, and he was somebody that swore that it's beyond his principle to work with the, and he's been making very, very controversial things online that have really pitched him against Nigerians. And now it is some people see it as crazy that somebody like that is being and is being debated all around the world by even those that are not Nigerians, that this guy is actually not fit to represent Nigeria. Another one is Femi Fani-Kayode. It's on record that this guy has, he too is somebody that he has been given the name of anywhere Beleface. And apart from that too, of course, we have on record where he was actually bullying a reporter. So you ask somebody that claimed he has a short fuse, if he's in a meeting with diplomats, and of course, diplomacy is about using suiting words, your demeanor and everything to actually get your way, that he might even end up slapping somebody there, and that he doesn't have the temperament, and he doesn't have. It's not as if he's not qualified in his own way, but Nigerians feel, look, this man cannot represent us. Another is the former governor of is it Enugu State, yeah, or Abia State, Ugwanyi. Ugwanyi, was he Abia State or Enugu State? Ugwanyi. Yeah, these are people that when they were governor didn't really do well. You have Mahmoud Yakub. They've just immediate past INEC chairman that whose conduct, especially where he said the RIF was going to, all election were going to be transmitted, and people still till today still hold him liable for the irregularities that happened during the last election. And you have Governor Ikeze Ipazu, that some people even said that the only thing he brought to Abia State was Mr. Beats. So you have these names that have been, causing. So let me ask you, sir, what's your take on this crop of Nigerians that have been presented as those that are supposed to represent you, me, and 200 and something million Nigerians? Is it really that this, for after 2 years, that this is the best we can get out of 200 and something million, or is it just like Fela would say, party?
Well, you already know the answer. Just that in your list, you didn't add that there's an individual that is late. His name also appeared on the list of ambassadors. Someone that is late, So it still boils down to the kind of politics that we play in Nigeria. We play politics with everything. Imagine those days when, if you want to constitute a governing council for universities, you bring in technocrats, bring in people who have been in academic.
Exactly.
But do you know that today, for our federal universities, they constituted the governing council of politicians. Some of them with fake certificates, forged credentials, and all whatnot. So the list really, ambassadorial list of non-career diplomats. It really portrayed Nigeria as a disgraced nation. We are a disgrace, just like Trump said. Only goes to confirm it. You can imagine somebody like Reno Mokri. Reno Mokri now, there's almost 3-4 petitions against him. I saw one online before we started this meeting. Somebody was writing directly to the president. There's also a petition on change.org, where we're also asking everyone to sign up the petition that this man should not be an ambassador. He can't represent us. Somebody that is rude, garrulous, talkative, insults people, denigrates people, have constituted a painful nuisance.
In fact, it is even said that if you give him enough money, he will even speak against even this present government that are even putting.
Somebody put it in this way. Somebody said that if you post him to any country, he may even go there to insult the carry placard and insult the president of the host country. So is that the kind of characters we want to represent us? And when you look at how the situation now with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, where we have people who have been groomed. Being an ambassador is a specialized vocation.
Yeah.
You must have the skills.
You must have the skill.
You must know how to talk. That's why there's a language that a diplomat is someone who will tell you to go to hell, and you look forward to it. You look forward to going to hell because there's a way he communicates. I've seen this with Nick Panekayode bullying and shouting on a reporter for asking him a question. No matter how well that question is, that approach shows that he doesn't have the temperament to be
his wife complained, his former wife, the Igbo lady, complained bitterly of too much abuse and stuff like that.
So I wonder how that kind of person was even appointed an aviation minister in the first place. Look at Okezi Bazu, whom you mentioned. Okezi Bazu met Abia State up. The first two governors were their governance was indescribable. Okay, Zena came and buried at the states. Today, we have a governor in that same state with same resources. You have seen what he has been able to achieve within 2 years. So is it the kind of character that you want to represent us in any country in the world? So we in Nigeria, we that we are in the civil society groups, we have taken it upon ourselves to awaken Nigerians and to let them know that we cannot just keep quiet for people to be settled with ambassadorial position. People like Mahmoud Yakubu, who conducted the most controversial election in Nigeria, whereby he declared results in the midnight and declared somebody winner when the nation was asleep. So is that the kind of person that should have that?
And even apart from that, the semantics, what it looks like. I mean, this guy just left INEC. You're not supposed to be a politician. You're not supposed to be anywhere near politics, and suddenly you just retired, or is it resigned, or you just left office, and immediately the government that came in through you are being posted as an ambassador. The semantics doesn't.
That's compensation. You know why we don't? Most of us are not bothered about their screening at the Senate, because we know they will tell them to take a bow and they will pass the screening of the Senate. But now, any country where they are posted to, I'm now asking Nigerians. This is my humble request. Any country that these charlatans are posted to, we must make sure that we write to the president of that country, not to accept them, because the countries have the right to either reject or accept diplomats or high commissioners that were sent to them. So that is where we have that responsibility, and we owe it as a duty to the future generation that these people should not occupy such a sensitive position as that of an ambassador.
You've spoken, and the question I just want to ask now, even as we prepare to round up, is going forward. If we say we really want to fix society, especially that has to do with our country. I live in an environment where you don't just get to the next level without actually being you've not really proved that that you're actually qualified for that thing. Somebody said that when you look at the kind of appointments that are being made, if it was your private company, some of these people will not employ these people to look after their resources. Because if you could be a pilot, but that doesn't mean you're trained. Being a pilot means you did science. But because you did science, that doesn't mean you're qualified to be a doctor. You're a doctor. Yes, you're a surgeon, you're trained. Yes, that doesn't mean you're qualified to be a chemist. Even though it's in the same science field, you can't be a chemist. A chemist is a different thing. A doctor will prescribe XYZ drugs. It is the pharmacist that prepares, the chemist that prepares whatever that person. So what I'm just saying is, why do we keep putting in square pegs in round holes and expect a different result? Why do we not have people that are really tested and we know? Campaigns will soon start. What it only takes for you, like in Nigeria, to lead is to have attended primary school. It doesn't matter whether you've passed or not. But if you want to go and work in a bank, or you want to go and work in every sector, you'll be told to bring this, that, this, sometimes even with work experience. So going forward, if you were the president of Nigeria, this is what I ask all my guests. If you were the president of Nigeria, tell me, how would you bring Nigeria out of this doldrum that we find ourselves?
Well, it's very simple. You have to overhaul the system. You must look at the critical areas in Nigeria, all the critical sectors, and work on them, and ensure that you bring in technocrats. Yes, you have your team, your political cycle that brought you into power. Let's even take it back to Obasanjo. Even though Obasanjo's regime wasn't that excellent, but during Obasanjo time, the appointees are much more better than what we have today. And bearing in mind that when you bring in those technocrats, they are also part of your team. They will also become members of your political party. So why would I go and take somebody whom I know very well that this guy is a tout? It's just a political job. And I just bring him into a very sensitive position. Like you just mentioned that Minister of State for Security, Minister of State for Defense. You know, you bring him in, somebody that his state was insecure, somebody that did not deliver the state. So what are you compensating him for? Are we reinforcing failure? You know, so like the question you asked, if I were to be the president, I will find another means, find a way of taking these people out of the system. Bring in technocrats. And when you bring in technocrats, also give them timelines.
Yes.
They should be points of reference. You don't just make somebody a minister and there's nothing the person is doing there. You know, I remember a minister, former minister under Buhari. You know, this thing really started with APC government. A minister under Buhari saying that, throughout he was minister, he didn't know jack about education. A former minister of education, he said that he doesn't know jack. You know, another person said that throughout he was a junior minister at labor and productivity. He didn't do nothing. He was just there. You know, lying fallow.
Just there.
He was just idle. So people come out to confess these things when they must have passed through the corridors of power. That is why you need to bring in the best hands. That's what a leader does. You know, leadership is about influence for positive outcomes. You bring in people who will represent you because the buck stops at your table. If the government fails, it's you who will hold responsible. For instance, this issue of ambassadors. More than 2 days, we don't have ambassadors. Now, Donald Trump is on your neck, like they said. He's on your neck.
That's what Akpabio said. He's on our neck.
You go back again to settle the boys. This is just settlement for the boys. It shouldn't be. We don't wash our dirty linen in public. We already know that our linen here is very dirty. Now we want to export it to the nations of the world to know that Nigerians we have more of charlatans and miscreants. Because that is what you have on the list. You can imagine this is the first time we are having a list of ambassadors and everybody is screaming to high heavens. People are
there are some very wonderful names there. There are some very wonderful ones that have, that have proven themselves. Yes, but for those ones that are, I think those ones are not in there.
So, in answering your question again, if I were to be the president, I will listen to the voice of the people. Voice of the people. Voice daily. I will withdraw the list. You see this non-career ambassadors, I will withdraw it immediately because it is about Nigerians' image.
It's about Nigerians' image.
In the Committee of Nations. We need to put forward our best foot.
And to be sincere, somebody like Mahmoud, sincerely, for a person, that man is a wonderful person. Like he has the demeanor of a diplomat. Sincere. He has the demeanor of a diplomat. He has the courage. He's intelligent, yes. But you see this of this thing that is over his head. Actually, if I were him, I would even have excused myself. If I were, look at Jega. Jega just went, immediately Jega brought in, after the Buhari stuff and
he went back to the classroom.
He just disappeared from public. Nobody thinks about him again. Once they say INEC now is Mahmoud, nobody remembers that it was under Jega that Buhari came.
Have you seen the current list? The list that was released.
Yes, there's a list of 65, a new 65.
Even that sole administrator of River State, Ibas,
yes,
is on that list. The infamous Ibas is also on that list. Somebody that was used to execute unconstitutional governance for 6 months. And he has not been able to give account.
I want to believe that some people are writing this list. I want to believe that the president is not the one writing this list. I want to believe he's not the one writing this list.
What everybody should do now is to also, encourage the president President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to do what? Withdraw that list. Withdraw it. Let it not. Well, they have read the list yesterday on the Senate. Even though it has been withdraw it. Let's look at it again. Are you doing more harm to Nigeria's image by sending? Look at the people you are sending out on missions. Sending out people who could not handle the responsibilities they were given in Nigeria. Mahmoud Yakubu, we have seen his incompetence in terms of conducting elections. Now you now want him to go and represent the country. Somebody that didn't play local league well, you are sending the person to go and play internationally.
Anything can happen.
That's not unfair. You want him to play La Liga. So, that's not unfair. It's not unfair to us Nigerians.
I want you to round up with these two. This is our time. I want you to just round up with this. I just want us to round up with this. Donald Trump said that there are a genocide against Christians in Nigeria. And Bishop Kuka said there is no genocide against Christians in Nigeria. Shegumi said that they should pamper the bandits, that they are just kidnapping people to make money. So they are not bad people. Nnamdi Kanu has been proscribed as in fact, he said he has to, if not that the judge or Motosho said he had mercy on him, that he should be sent to death. He should be sentenced to death. That what he did is in fact is just to die. In the same vein, bandits are giving press conferences with their guns. A bandit killed assistant commissioner of police or assistant commissioner of police, but he killed him and wore his uniform to a meeting. And when he got there, he even said that peace meeting that every police that will come there should not wear uniform. He wore not just the uniform. You know, the uniform carries the person's name. Wore it as evidence that I have killed this man and wearing his uniform. You have bandits now on TikTok. They now go on TikTok. They're on TikTok. They're on live. Bandits go on live TikTok. You know, so you have these things going all across the country. My brother, in 5 minutes, what's your take?
Well, I think Nigeria is not yet ready to fight insecurity. We are not yet ready. Yes, the appointment of Christopher Musa as a minister of defense is a good step in the right direction. But then he's not going to work
very
alone.
Commendable one.
You know, he needs a team to work with. And in fighting terrorism, we have to also make sure that there is fairness and there is justice.
Yeah.
So for Nnamdi Kanu, I've always said it, Nnamdi Kanu is not a terrorist. He's just you can call him a separatist, or you can call him a freedom fighter. You can refer to him as someone who is seeking for cessation for his people because he believes that he has been marginalized.
After Mandela was jailed because the South African government called him a terrorist. Mahatma Gandhi was also designated as a terrorist.
So Nnamdi Kanu is not a terrorist. People mention about the insecurity in the southeast, whereby a lot of people lost their lives. You know, I commiserate with all the people that lost their lives, but I'll also tell you that Nnamdi Kanu is not the cause. I've told you the cause of insecurity when we started. It's politicians. And in commiserating with people who lost their lives, I commiserate with Nnamdi Kanu too, who lost his father, his mother, and some of his people. I've been to Afaruku. I've been to their house. You see bullet-ridden vehicles and in the walls of their buildings and all whatnot. He lost somebody that lost the father and the mother. So he was also the ones that sent people to kill the father and the mother. You know, we remember Operation Python, Operation Tiger, Operation this, Operation that. That we are killing people then all over. It was Nnamdi Kanu the commander. You know, so whereby we have bandits who can move around freely, parade themselves.
Boldly.
You have meetings with them,
attending weddings,
encourage them, and you want us to put them in the budget.
government representatives attending their weddings, giving them chieftaincy titles.
And none of them have been arrested, none of them have been tried.
Yeah.
And you just go and target a Southeastern force is calling for Biafra. Whether the way he's using we are asking that life imprisonment should be reversed. Let him regain his freedom. That is one of the ways we can have.
As we round up, what I believe is that, yes.
Okay.
Yes. It's been wonderful having you, sir. My belief is that the life of every Nigerian counts. Whether you're Christian, whether you're Muslim, whether you're traditional. You know, we talk about Christian and Muslim. We forget that there are traditional worshippers in Nigeria too. There are
and the traditional worshippers have never constituted any nuisance.
Never.
In fact,
in the traditional, do you know that the traditional worshippers across the country, regardless of where you're coming from, are always at peace? They don't constitute any problem to anyone, you know. Then you also have the
and they do not impose their religion on you.
They don't impose their religion on anyone. Exactly.
Everybody has the right to worship.
Everybody has to worship wherever they want. Yeah, and they should not die because they are worshiping.
This foreign religion, you can see what they are costing for us. They are far more expensive in all ramifications, financially, in terms of peace, in terms of harmony, in terms of whatever ramification.
Yes.
You can see what the foreign religions are costing for us. So, like you said, let everyone embrace peace.
Peace.
Let Nigerians embrace peace, both online and offline.
And
know that at the end of the day, none of us here can say that we have seen God.
None.
So why are you fighting for God that you have not seen?
Some of us don't know. And some of us don't know whether we will even see him.
Yes. We are not even sure. Thank you very much, my brother. Thanks for having me.
It's been wonderful speaking with you, sir. The Chief Christopher Joma podcast of Common Sense. We're just here. If you have any last word for us, and we'll take it off from there to the Christopher Joma podcast of Common Sense.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you, Chief, for having me. I wish Nigerians peace and harmony and also development. That's my wishes for Nigeria.
Thank you. Nigerians, it's been a pleasure. All of our global citizens, all our viewers all over the world, especially those of us in diaspora, those of us in Nigeria. Nigeria is our country. We can never stop talking about Nigeria. We'll always keep talking about this, what bothers us, because it is the only country we can call our own. And let me tell you, if Nigeria sneezes, the whole world catches cold. Everything that happens in Nigeria, because Nigeria, we are global citizens. All they say, if you go to any country and you don't see Nigerians, then you should run away, because we are everywhere. So it only means anything that is affecting Nigeria also affects the whole world, because I don't think there is any nation where you will find in every country on earth like Nigerians. We are everywhere. And everywhere we are, we make our mark and we are doing well. It's been a pleasure having you, sir. And we hope next time when we call you that you will avail yourself and give us some of this your wonderful time and wonderful insights and knowledge and art flavor to the Nigerian people. All right, thank you. This is where we'll call it quits for today. Remember, like, subscribe, and share. Let's keep this conversation going on. And I'll see you next time when on the Chief Christopher Joma podcast of Common Sense, where we'll have another wonderful guest giving us wonderful insight. Wherever you are in the world, I say Assalamu alaikum.
Sense maker.
Chief Christopher GEOMAN'S at the mic, breaking down the noise, bringing clarity quick. Common sense solutions straight to the point. Listen up, let's get it right. Sense maker, cutting through the haze. Chief Christopher GEOMAN'S bringing wisdom to the ways. Practical advice, no nonsense guide. Common Sense podcast side by side. Life's complex issues simplified with ease. Chief's insights, you'll breeze through the teas. Real talk, no fluff, just the facts. Get ready, let's tackle.